Hey guys, what is up? Rattling Ghost coming to you live through the power of YouTube, and today we will be restoring this Corgi toys, Mangusto de Tomaso. This is a nice casting. It's got a lot of good things going for it. The windscreen is broken, the window, so I'll have to replace that. Wheels are shot, they're very hard, and the one tire is missing. The back has still got the light in, which normally loses on these models. As you can see inside there, the handbrake has broken off, so has the aerial that sticks out here. Above that, still looks good. Let's get into it. Hopefully nothing else is missing. Otherwise, this is going to be one of the worst restores that I've ever done. So this actually clips out. So this clips out just like that. And if I can just get it out. Okay. Well, that's nice. Break the whole car. So that's supposed to just clip out when that is still lying there. So this can actually be taken out. This can be taken out of the vehicle or of the underside. I've already drilled the post at the bottom to get the car open. So let's look at the body or the main chassis of the car. So we've got two more rivets, this side and that side, if I want to take this apart, and I probably will have to. Front suspension all in order, the back suspension. There's a couple of breakage links here that I'll have to replace, and then we are missing the entire engine, and that's not good. I don't know if I can find a replacement for this. This is the most essential part of the whole build, and if I don't get an engine, it's not going to look right. Then also the gear lever is broken. Just a little post that we need to put in there. For the rest, it looks pretty decent. Got the backlight here, someone painted it in with some Corgi, some black marker. And then as we go further into the car, just remove the main body. There all the windows comes out. So this has got a spare tire. It's shot and it's hard as hell, so we won't be using that. We'll just be replacing this. So there's the main chassis of the car, still in good condition. It needs a good spray painting. Put that over there. The interior, the same as what we had on one of our previous Corgi restorations, the MGB GT. We've got the same copper steering wheel that is in place here, and that's a very nice addition to these old Corgis. Like I said, the front window is shut. We won't be able to use this. I'm going to recreate my own using my own techniques. I'll show that on camera. The back window we might get cleaned up. I don't know if we will be able to. There's a lot of cracks in it as well, so hopefully we can get that cleaned up. And then the main body sits like that. So there is the aerial. We still have a little piece sticking out here, so that's quite nice, but I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's a very fiddly part. So at the back of that, focus, at the back of that there was like an aerial that was shooting out of it, so we'll just have to get a replacement for that. The body is in not too bad a shape. Just need to get rid of all this paint in the vents. It had some decals on the hood. Apart from that, it's not looking too bad. The only concern for this model is the main engine that's missing. I don't know if I'm going to find the replacement. I'll have to search in my little box of bundles if I can get something that looks similar, but I know on the engine block it was actually written on both sides. It was written Tomaso on the engine block with the nice V8 engine sitting there. So I don't know, hopefully we can get replacement parts or try and figure out something else what we can do. So guys, let's get into paint stripping. I'm going to strip all of this and then I'll bring you back for the cleanup. So guys, I quickly just want to show you what I'm facing with this model. There is multiple parts. So we've got the interior, just like that. Just got the 2 seats in. So that's, we've got the main body, which needs to be stripped. We've got the base plate. Then our aerial fell out, which I'll have to look after very nicely. Our handbrake mechanism fell out. Just get it to focus. It doesn't seem like it wants to. Anyways, it's a very small part. I think it's the delay. So there you can see it. Small part. We've got the back tail light. We've got the interior with the copper steering wheel that removes. So that I'll also have to keep very nicely. But these ones, or this one, I'm gonna just polish up a little bit with some brass cleaner and hopefully looks good. Then we've got the broken windows. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 parts just on that. I've stripped the wheels off the axles. The tires are broken, plus the spare tire that's there, which adds to about another 18. And then we get into this little piece. So I went ahead and I drilled out the post. I want to paint this separately. So we've got the plate that keeps everything in position. It's got some numbering on it as well. So that's the main connector of it all. Then coming to the front, we've got our front axle, which is over there. We've got our front suspension mechanism, like that. Then we've got a suspension rod that's bendable. That keeps everything nice and tidy. Then on the back here, now hopefully I can remove it. So this is part of the original motor. It's got a small spring in as well, which we'll have to look after. That's basically when you want to remove the bottom portion from the vehicle itself. A small spring in there. Then furthermore, we take all of this out. This is our rear suspension piece with our rear axle and some broken bits and pieces, which I'll have to either glue and fix up. They're all metal. Got another one on this side which is also broken, just at the front there. So we'll have to fix that before we can get everything neatly assembled. Got our suspension piece here. We've got our rear axle. And then we only get to the exhaust. Nice exhaust pipes on the side. Some nice square exhaust tips. And then we have the main body where everything is housed in. Get it to focus. So yeah, this is going to be a nice restoration. I don't think I'm going to do this all in one go. This will probably be a two-part section. I still need parts for this, but as you can see here on my A4 cutting plate, we've got plenty to go about. All the wheels on that side, got the broken windscreen and rear window, main base, interior, main body, all my suspension bits over here, my steering wheel, backlights, and some more suspension and wheel bits. So guys, let's get into it. I'm going to start stripping the paint. I'm only going to strip the paint now, and then I'll probably do another video where I'm going to do the rest of them. So please check out my other videos, like my channel, subscribe to my channel, and share and favor as you like. So guys, the stripping process has started, and I am using my Smith & Company heavy duty paint stripper again, like I do in every episode when I do a restoration and a custom. And it's not a sponsor. I wish they would sponsor me, but I'll maybe ask them. So after a couple of seconds, I'm trying to bring in closer, you can actually see. So after I used a wire brush, just cleaned off all the paint, the base plate is in immaculate condition. There was paint all around it, so we just need a good cleanup on the base. For the body itself, there's little oxidation, but not too much. We can clean that up. And then the other parts as well, you can see it came out looking absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just gonna wash this with a toothbrush and some soapy water, just to get rid of all that paint remover, because it is caustic, it might still burn the die cast. And for you guys out there that actually wants to know, I do keep a little bit of a sample. So there you can see there's the blue color that it was originally, and a little white sample that I got off. So I do keep it when I mix my paints. So for you guys out there that want to know, I do keep a little bit of paint. You can see there's some of the white and some of the blue for the base plate. So I do keep paint in order for me to mix into my airbrush, or when I purchase canisters. So guys, I think for now I'm going to carry on with another project. I'm going to bring you this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Watch out part 2, and then we're going to get this baby back to rocking. Hopefully I get a new engine for it, but I bet you this is going to be one of the best restores I've ever done. It's going to be the most difficult, and I've taken on a big challenge because I've got 30 odd pieces that I need to sort through and clean up. But guys, stay tuned, share my video. This is Rattling Goes saying cheers. Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of the Mangusto de Tomaso. I don't really know what car this is, except what they call it on the base plate. So for you guys out there, you can maybe let me know in the section down below, the comment section, what is a Mangusto de Tomaso, if it's a Ferrari or Lamborghini or whatever it is. So starting off first on the second part, is the back window is not too bad condition. It's still intact. It's got a little bit of scratches on it. I'll try and get that sanded out if I can. The front windscreen, as you all remember, was broken. So painstakingly, using an X-Acto knife, I went around the corners, or where the front window should be, cut it out, sanded it down a little bit with the X-Acto knife and some fine sanding paper. So I am left with this. The side windows are still intact, and I don't want to lose this part, because this part needs to go in like that. So it's got a little roof window at the top, it's got the side windows and then the small corners there. So I just removed the front window, and I'll be replacing that with a new one. So I'm just going to super glue one in. Hopefully it lasts, and I hope you guys like what I'm doing here. So I'll bring you back when I've got the window finished. For now, I'm just going to paint the suspension parts and the exhaust pipes and tips, and this is going to be done in a chrome metal. So I'll show you after I've finished painting them. These I can throw away now because I'm not going to be using them. So guys, check it out, and I hope you enjoy this video. So guys, what I've done off camera is clean out the center console. You can see there's some nice detail. If I can get the light. So we've got a radio, we've got a glove compartment, got a couple of dials, so it looks good. For the interior, just cleaned it out with some soapy water. Looks good. That's just a hole for the handbrake. And then I went ahead and I painted the base that keeps the suspension and everything in position. Painted it black as it should be. Did that off camera. So I'm not going to polish this car to a mint shine. I just polished it a little bit. You can see there's some nice shine to it. The body is not damaged. I am going to prime this, and I'm going to be using my fine surface primer from Tamiya. It's the best for this. So the base will be blue, and I've got my blue color here, and then the rest of the body. So we'll basically have a line of blue at the bottom, and then this will be blue, and then the rest of the car will be done in white. And then I just need to create the stickers that was on the side of the vehicle and on the bonnet. But for now I just need to drill out the posts, and I'm using a 256 tap. So I've got my 2mm drill bit here. I'm just going to drill it out. I'm going to tap it off camera, and then we're getting into paint. So coming back to the windscreen, you guys can remember it had a big chunk out of it. It was broken completely. The back window isn't too bad. It's got 2 cracks in it. I tried polishing it out and sanding it out, but it doesn't want to seem to go away. So what I did for the front window is I left the sides and I left the top, because that is for the sunroof. And then using an old CD case, and this is the same as what I did on my 77 Hot Wheels Sheriff car, is I just cut a little piece out here. You can see it looks very nice. So I'm just going to be attaching this to the front window there. Bend this portion here slightly so that it just fits on the inside of the car, and then we'll have a fixed windscreen that looks something like, if I can just clip it in there, something like that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to super glue it in place, and then hopefully it turns out looking great. So let's get into the assembly. I read up that this is a Ghia 5000 and that the chassis that's removable is of De Tomaso, and that's why they call it the Ghia 5000 Mangusto de Tomaso, because it's got the removable chassis. So I've got all my parts here all painted up, my exhaust tips, exhaust pipes coming from the main engine compartment. And I've got my front and rear suspension parts that I've also painted in a chrome color. Absolutely came out looking amazing. My axles for my wheels I just cleaned up by inserting them into my drill bit, and then just taking some sandpaper to it just to clean it up a little bit. For my tail lights, I'm just gonna color this in with black paint, and then that would look pristine again. My dashboard, very nice detail on such small parts. I quite like that, but that we'll get to later. These old tires I am throwing out because they are no good to me anymore. So let's get into the assembly of this little precious car of mine. So as you can see, I added a handbrake. The one that came with the model was broken off, so I just fitted a new one in there. You can see it turned out looking quite good. Painted the chassis black, and now it's just to get to the assembly part, and this is probably going to be much more difficult than what I initially thought. The front part will go on easy, so that is the front suspension in there. We just have to take our axle through there, fit our tires. For the back one, I know I removed it and I've got some other parts here. So this that is broken seems like it's broken, but it's actually not broken, or it is broken. It needed to fit into another part that's also missing out of this car, so I'm just going to be installing them as they came when I first got the car. So that needs to sit in like that, and that's why I'm saying it's going to be a difficult feat to get all of this done. And then for the rear suspension, that needs to go in there in some other way. I still need to figure out how. I know I've got some photos, so I'm going to get to that. Quickly install all of them back into the rear, and then we'll carry on. So guys, with my front suspension in, the rear suspension with the exhaust has to come through that loop. It sits in that way. I've also installed my little spring that is for the suspension itself, and then next on we just need to fit our bottom of our base plate. The tiles I'll fit later, as I'm just trying to get the stuff to stick in there. And there we have it. We've got our nice exhaust tails, we've got our back suspension, front suspension, and absolutely looks amazing. So I'm just going to take it with one screw here. We'll install our axles, we get the tires on. We're going to try and get this fiddly bits back in there and try and fasten it to somewhere. Hopefully I can see where it needs to go to, but for now let me just get all my axles through and then I'll update you as I go. So guys, sorry I didn't show you this process of putting this back together. It was quite fiddly. I got my screw in there, my front suspension, got my rear suspension and my exhaust grills. Now, keeping in mind what I said, I've got my back part of my engine. That is only the part that clips into the vehicle on the base plate itself, or on the plate, on the model itself. These stabilizers needs to go in through the axle and sits in there, but there's also another part that is missing, and that is how I got the model. I can't recreate this, so I'm just gonna put it back the way I got it, and then hopefully later on someone in this video will tell me they've got a motor and that part that they can send to me. I will appreciate that, but let me get into assembling the rest of the vehicle. So for these, I'm just installing my mags in there, or my rims, and this is going to be another fiddly one because this now needs to stick through. Then we need to have this in position. Just want to make sure it's the correct way around. So that needs to go in, and it needs to go into that small little hole, and then we stick it through the plate itself, and the other side we'll have to do exactly the same again, just the reverse of that. So yes, there's a lot of parts. When I started this model I thought, what am I getting myself into? I enjoyed restoring this. Absolutely turned out looking brilliant. I'm very happy about the way she looks. If that only wants to go in. And I don't want to break anything. Okay, it clipped in there. And then last of all, we just need to install our last rim that goes in that way. And there we have it. So as you can see, there needs to be like another metal piece that goes through this main body that keeps the stabilizers in position. I don't know where it is. I didn't receive it with the model. I'm very sad that it's not here, but I can't do nothing about that at this stage. There, I've got my wheels on, and I just have to do the same for the front suspension. That's as easy as just so getting to the front suspension. This is just as easy as just getting it through there. I still need to cap these axles, which I've cut off. So there's the first one in, and then my second wheel. I can't get these cleaner than what I got them, but I think it will give a nice detail to the car itself. So there we have our two wheels and axles on, and that is the base plate almost complete. I just have to install the back part of the engine that was broke. So there was another piece coming off there, like a copper piece. It had grills or gills on the side. It had the V8 motor in the middle but now it's gone. It's got a spring action, and this spring I've looked for like 70 times during this making of this video. So this is just a clip that clips into the main vehicle that you can take it off, and this just needs to sit in that hole at the back there. The spring just lines up with the car or with this back plate, and that just needs to go in the hole there, and then I just need to attach a screw, and then we have our nice spring action to remove it from the base. So let me get that screw in. It is quite fiddly, I don't want to bore you with that, so let me get it in and I'll show you the final result. So now we almost have a fully completed base. This is the Tomaso base. Got my wheels on there. I have to crimp these sides of the axles. I've got my small piece of motor in there. I'll show a photo just at the end or just after this of how this motor actually looked like, but unfortunately when I got the model it was missing and there's actually nothing I can do without it. I can't recreate it. It was done in copper, so that is just going to be too difficult for me to recreate. But for now we've got it in. There's our spring action there at the back, so that spring just pushes against the main chassis there. We've got our spring there, and that is just to clip it into the vehicle itself. So let's get into assembly the full car. So I've got the steering wheel, which is also done in copper. It doesn't want to fit in nicely there, but it does go, it does have to clip in here. So I'm going to clip this in, and then hopefully it doesn't come out. Okay, so that seems to work. So I've got my steering wheel on there. This I just cleaned up a little bit. I didn't have to do much on it, so it absolutely turns out looking good. I got some new tires. The ones that I had was looking like this. I don't know if you can remember. All broken, hard. This was actually not a tire. This seems like a tire, but it doesn't fit to the rest of them. I don't know why. This was the spare wheel that was there in the back. I'm not going to use it, it's damn hard. So I'm going to be using the old one that I had, that I tried to make a mold out of to resin cast new tires, which I was unsuccessful at. But as you can see, there is the tire, if you can just focus. And then here is the new ones. Looking much better. So the tires are just going to go on. I've assembled this. I have to drop my rear window in. Like I said, I've got two cracks in it, which I can't do anything about at this stage. I wanted to do the same as what I did for the front window, but it just seemed useless actually, so I'm not going to get into that. Then our let's just remember how this goes in. Our interior goes in, and I think it sits against that, hopefully. And then we've got our tail light. I redid the black for the sides and the number plate, and that just slots in. There's two slots here, and that just slots in there. Not that way around, other way around. So that slots in there, and then it's onto my base. So I'm just going to get the base in there, screw it in, put on my tires, and then we'll do the big reveal. So stay tuned and look how gorgeous this baby turned out. I was very frightened of this model when I first opened it because of the many parts. I thought it's going to take forever, but I'm quite glad how she turned out. It is an absolutely amazing looking car from Corgi Toys, and I'm so sad that they're no longer making toys like these, but luckily we can restore these ones to factory settings. So let me screw it in, let me get the tires on, and then we'll see. So guys, it's time for the reveal. I've kept you too long in suspense. Got my new tires on there. Actually looks brilliant. So if you guys can remember how this car looked like, the tires were all shot on it. It had no handbrake mechanism. The engine is missing, which is sad. It's still missing. I couldn't find one in time to release this video to you guys, but for the best part of it, I think she turned out looking nice. You can see the screws that I've used in there, and painted the exhaust tips, the suspension front and back, painted that all in a metallic or chrome color. And for the vehicle, so this is the color. You can see my screw in there. Corgi Toys, Mangusto de Tomaso. These ones actually slot in pretty good. So I just put some glue in there just to keep it at bay. And guys, here is the completed model. And I think you will all agree that it came out looking pretty awesome. As I said earlier, the back windows are cracked for the engine, but I couldn't fix that. These windows were all intact, the sunroof windows was intact, and then I fitted this. So this was done with that CD case that I had. I just made a slit out of the existing one, took the broken one out, and I just replaced it with a new one, and it turned out looking quite nice. I also did the decal for the De Tomaso racing stripes on the front and the T. I painted the middle section of the grille. We've got the yellow headlamps in there. That's actually like a... So I painted the grille black, and the headlamps I kept yellow. It's a plastic that was inserted there. I couldn't take it out, but I think it turned out looking awesome. The back tail lights is just a clip in. It's red and it's black in the middle, and I added a little bit of detail with the exhaust or the aerial that it had originally. So guys, I think she looks good. Please let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think about this model. If I did a good enough job. I am still trying to get a engine part for this, but at this stage, time of finishing this video, just to get it out to you guys, I could not get one for the life of me. So now it's just to get this baby back in there. So that just slots in there, and there we have the completed model. So everything prim and proper, everything is painted neatly. The screws are in, the exhaust tips looks fabulous, and for the first time the suspension is working. So I'm happy with the model. Let me drop my camera and then you can see a side view of it. I'm very happy about how she turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this channel, if you like my videos, please subscribe, share the video, favor it as you like, and tell all your friends about it. But for now, this is Rattling Ghost saying cheers.